Well, it is Vlogtober, day 7, and the hurricane is ever closer. So stay with me today. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so here we are. It's about 7:30, and you can probably tell from my hair, the wind is a-blowing. Not too bad yet. About the same as last night, but that sounds like some kind of emergency whistle there. Let me turn the camera around and show you what we got. Very dark and dreary. Look at those nasty clouds out there. Things are definitely blowing. The streets are pretty quiet. Few occasional cars here and there, but everybody's pretty much hunkered down. Right now the storm is out just east of Cape Canaveral. Many of you will be familiar with that. And the wind gusts there have been measured at 107 miles per hour, but most of the really heavy sustained winds are still a little bit offshore. So they're definitely getting pummeled down there, and they expect it to hit us sometime around noon today. So we're still just bracing ourselves, dealing with the occasional rain showers that are kind of off and on right now, but we will keep you posted throughout the day. 9 o'clock. Things are definitely getting more windy. Another rain band is coming through, and so dark and dreary. Kiddo's still sleeping. Got a report that about 1,200 people in our county are now without power. We still have power here at the shelter. Not sure about at our home though, so still just waiting that one out, see how it goes. Hubby over there doing his thing, trying to get numbers from the shelters, waiting on them to bring breakfast out for the deputies. See if we can see out the window. Every once in a while we hear it hitting real hard up against there, and then it kind of dissipates. Typical in a hurricane. If you've never ridden through one, then you might be unfamiliar with that, but it's just the way the squalls come and those outer bands of the storm. There you go. You can see it there. They just delivered some sack lunches for when it gets to be lunchtime. And what kind of breakfast?
Bacon, eggs, toast, and grits.
Oh, that's a pretty good breakfast. The jail made these, and they're having them delivered to all the deputies who are in the shelters and on the road. Of course, all these deputies have to work out there in the storms, making sure everybody else is safe, and so they do provide them with food. So this is going to be a pretty good breakfast. And then we've got a sack lunch. Not sure about dinner yet, because that's about the time when the winds will probably be the worst. So we'll just have to wait and see. But at any rate, the deputies are being taken care of, so that's all good news. Look at the super teeny tiny juices. So cute. It's about 11:30. Definitely kicking up. The winds are coming down harder. Hubby had driven by the house. The power is out there, and it just flickered here where we are in our safe shelter. So not sure how long this power is going to be out. And you may not get an update from me for a couple more days. We'll just have to see how soon they can get us back up and going. But it's definitely getting rough here now, you guys. Woo, mercy. Rain is cold, you guys. Uh-oh. It's ripped something off the side of the wall already, and it's tearing the shed open back there. This is here at the office here where we've been staying. This wind is kicking it up and even broke the lock back there. My, my, my. Woo, it is windy and it is cold, you guys. Oh, my goodness. Wow, power lines are down everywhere. The calls have been coming in through the sheriff's department. So, here we go.
I barely fell asleep at the end again.
Barely surviving the shelter life, you guys. Oh my goodness, I walked back here and they both were sacked out. And sadly, it looks like we'll be here one more night. The power is still out at our house. I think there's like 25,000 residents here in our town that are without power, and the local power company is not going to get started till 6 a.m. tomorrow. It's a little surprising to me though, because I actually used to work at the power company years ago, and as soon as the danger was over, we got right on it. We didn't let people stay out of power for that length of time. So I'm a little curious this time why they're waiting, because it's about 4:30-ish, close to 5 o'clock now, I guess. And it's still breezy, but the bulk of it has passed. And you know, we got a lot of trees down in this area. There is minimal damage. We did have one death so far that's been contributed to the storm in our county here that we know of right now. So it definitely did some damage, but not nearly as much as it could have. And the worst of it's over. We're still just going to get some light rain, some light wind, but the bulk of the hard stuff is over. So not really sure why they're not sending those linemen out, just because it's always been their policy since I worked there that as soon as the danger was done, they get rolling, especially when you have this many people out of power. So since they're not going to start that till tomorrow and we're going to still be without power, the kids have decided that they would rather just stay up here one more night so that they can have access to their computers and electricity and air conditioning and all that kind of stuff. Because, you know, after a hurricane goes through, you know, the wind is a little bit cool, but it's very humid and it gets very hot very fast. So anyway, I guess we'll do that. We'll go ahead and stay here one more night. Thank you guys for staying with us through this journey, especially for all the prayers and the love and the encouragement. We certainly have been praying for everyone as well, because this storm has been no joke at all. So for those still a little north of us that are going to be facing some of this tonight and tomorrow, you guys are in our prayers, and we pray that very minimal damage will be sustained. All right, it's about 6 o'clock and the worst is over, although it's still pretty doggone windy. We're gonna run by and check out our house, but because our house is still out of power and because we still have power up here, we're gonna stay here again tonight, and hopefully we're not gonna find any damage there. But there are trees down all over the place, you guys, and last we heard about 25,000 people out of power. A couple of cars went into some ditches because they didn't stay off of the road. So it's definitely been an interesting day. We do have one person who has passed away during the storm. She had a heart attack and they couldn't get her out of her home. Tree fell on it. And don't know if that was before or after the heart attack. So anyway, they'll contribute that as a death to the storm. But it's been an interesting day. It's all cleared out now as far as the rain. We should probably get a few more sprinkles a little later, but we'll keep you posted. Are about to figure out, got some limbs, or little limbs down. Not big ones. Looks like everything else outside is pretty much okay besides those few little limbs. Gonna have to walk around to the back to check it, and hopefully there's no damage to the roof or anything. So far, all we've been able to find are tons and tons and tons of little twigs and branches. Can you guys tell? No power still. The power's been out at this house since about, I don't know, about a quarter till 10 this morning, maybe 10 o'clock. So it's still out, which means we've lost everything in the freezers, both of them, because we have the regular refrigerator here and we also have the box freezer back here. So everything in those two freezers are going to be a loss, but at least the house looks okay. Those kind of things can be replaced. Okay, so far the house is looking pretty good. Not sure, there's some shingles that look a little lifted when we drove in the driveway, but until Steve can get up there and really feel around good and examine those. Not seeing any spots on the inside, which is great, because when Hurricane Charlie came through, that's one of the things that started causing some mold, is we had some leaking underneath shingles that we didn't even realize that we had. So hopefully that's all good. Everything else is looking pretty good. A lot of wind still right now though, but we are on our way back up where we're going to have a little bit of power tonight. Back at the office, and now all the power in town is out. Every slap bit of it. I don't even know if there is one home left in this town that actually has power. So now we're deciding, do we stay here and have to sleep on those miserable cots again so that we can at least have the generator with some fans, or do we just tough it out and go home in a comfortable bed? I don't know. Time will tell. Good news, the power is back on at the office. Boy, this has been an up and down, wishy-washy kind of day. You guys probably think I am nuts, but I am really going to say goodnight this time, and we'll see you tomorrow.